Piecing together the history of the man Nassau County Deputy Eric Oliver was chasing yesterday when he was struck by an SUV and killed. News 4 Jax was the first to report that Francisco Portillo Fuentes had been twice deported and had just re-entered the U.S. for a third time. In the last hour, we've learned he did that by wading across the Rio Grande in Laredo, Texas.
At the same time, the memorial for Deputy Oliver on his police cruiser is growing at the sheriff's office in Yulee. The funeral service will be held Saturday. We will give you the details on that in just a few minutes. But first, those who knew and those who had never met Deputy Oliver are paying their respects. The tight-knit community coming together to deal with this tragedy. And here in Jacksonville, Portillo Fuentes faced a federal judge this afternoon on a charge of felony re-entry into the United States. We have two reporters continuing to cover this story. We start with Channel 4's Chris Parento, who was in the courtroom for today's federal hearing.
Tom, this afternoon I learned that Francisco Portillo Fuentes had re-entered the United States just days ago. He told Border Patrol agents that he came back wading across the Rio Grande on or about November 19th. He told those same agents that he had twice been deported previously and never asked for permission to re-enter the United States legally. Police arrested Francisco Portillo Fuentes off Powers Avenue last night. He told a federal judge he lives in an apartment on Powers Avenue, but didn't know the exact address. According to these documents, Portillo Fuentes was arrested in May of this year on a DUI charge here in Jacksonville. He pled guilty to that charge in August. A source told me after that conviction, he was transferred into custody of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Court documents show he was deported September 28th through Alexandria, Louisiana. Portillo Fuentes told Border Patrol agents he re-entered the United States on or about November 19th by wading across the Rio Grande River. Last night, Nassau County Sheriff Bill Leeper told us that Portillo Fuentes had two prior deportations. His first one came through Harlingen, Texas on November 14th of 2011. An immigration attorney told me today deportation will likely not be the next step for Portillo Fuentes.
I don't think he's going to be deported again. I think he's going to probably face some time here. I don't think they're going to deport him at this stage. He's going to have some jail time.
In federal court this afternoon, the prosecutor told Portillo Fuentes he faces a maximum of 2 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. He didn't say much in court this afternoon other than telling the judge his highest level of education was third grade in El Salvador. Today's hearing for Francisco Portillo Fuentes was supposed to address the issue of bail, but the U.S. attorney asked for that to be continued into next week. A judge has set that hearing for Monday at 2 p.m. Live downtown, I'm Chris Parento, Channel 4, the local station.
The Nassau County community is also mourning the loss of Deputy Oliver. His cruiser is parked in front of the sheriff's office, and a memorial has been growing on and around it ever since. Channel 4's Heather Lee is there, joining us live. Heather,
You know, Mary, you can see just how significant this memorial has grown just in the last 24 hours. People are still coming out right now to leave things on this deputy's car. Look at all of the stuff that they have left. Balloons, cards, candles, just about anything they can to remember this deputy and all that he did. And they've also been leaving gifts inside for his 6-year-old daughter. The community really coming together just to let this family know that they are here for them whenever they need them. Condolences come in many forms. Cards, flowers, balloons, taking a knee and praying, closing your eyes and saying a few words.
I just thought he deserved it. I thought he deserved our respect. And that's why I'm here.
It's why he's here and she's here. It's why they showed up. It's why Michael Tabor dropped off toys for Oliver's 6-year-old daughter.
It just kills me to know that happened. That she's going to be without her dad. And this is the kind of thing a community needs to do.
Tabor didn't know Oliver, but has kids of his own around the same age. Amy Battles and Sherry York can't stop thinking of that child.
I couldn't imagine being the one that had to deliver that phone call.
That little girl is lost her dad. And that just breaks my heart.
Battles did know Oliver briefly back in 2009 when he showed up at her house on a domestic dispute call. She was in an abusive relationship and says Oliver helped her realize self-worth. She can't believe he's gone. No one can.
You see these guys out every day doing their jobs, and I think people forget they have families they go home to every night. and we get to go home to ours because of that.
Now, the deputy that was with Oliver yesterday during this situation, he came out here today. They kindly asked us to not film him as he came up here with friends and family. He was surrounded by them. He was very emotional, as you can imagine. But the people here say that the support from the community has been tremendous, and they appreciate it a lot. For now, we're live in Nassau County. Heather Lee, Channel 4, the local station.